it says going live with excellent stuff. So I don't.
And we are live.
Are we live? I think we're live. For some reason, though, I cannot get a URL, nor can I view the stream. Oh, we're live. For some reason, it just hates me. It's okay. No worries. I'm gonna.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, for some reason, it wanted to struggle. Hello, everybody. Hello. We're gonna be starting pretty soon. Well, now, obviously. I'm gonna put us that we are live and alive.
So, while things are being set up, I guess it's a good time to do a little bit of an introduction. We are your hosts. With me tonight is good old Greg and Falgi.
Hello.
Of course, I'm Kat.
Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
I am doing better now that I'm here with you people.
That is very nice to hear. In the chat, I do see Lemon and Slaw. How are y'all?
Hello, Lemon and Slaw. It's so nice of you guys to join us. We are, as always, it's really nice to have my two co-hosts, my two permanent co-hosts that have never, ever been anybody else. It's been really, really lovely to kind of just, I don't know, we've really formed a bond and a friendship that hasn't gone away at all.
I've known you most of my life.
Never ever been another host, ever, and it's like kind of crazy to think about. Let your friends know that we're live. Let everybody know. Let your mother know that we're live. Let your father know that we are alive. Definitely, we are just kind of chilling. We're gonna be going over some interesting. Going to be going over some interesting allegations. Definitely not the most serious of them. Those are for much better streamers than ourselves. Those allegations are insano in the braino. But I did find somebody who had allegations about a month ago. This is a YouTuber and podcaster that I think it's kind of important. So we're going to let people kind of roll into the chat before we begin. So, grab your drinks, sit down, relax. I'm going to grab myself some water, and my co-hosts are going to entertain everybody.
Cat.
Yes, Greg.
What is cat spelled backwards?
Huh?
That's right. Thank you for coming. Could you imagine that seeing a stand of all, like everything I say for the rest of the night?
Stream just ends right there.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying this masterpiece.
Yeah. So tonight we are talking about Sack Justice. Do you know who that is?
I got a little bit of the rundown last night, and Falgi was mentioning it. I'm ready to be surprised. If you want to give me a small... Okay, so before the whatever controversy is happening, who is this person before whatever happened has come out?
So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have no idea who this is.
Fuck.
All I know is that Zach is old.
Oh, okay.
Older.
He is older.
Than the other. Yeah, he's older than co-host Indiana. Former co-host Indiana.
Former co-host. Slaw,
Yeah.
Did I fix the audio? Is my question to you. There we go. Yeah, I have to lower the YouTube audio. I don't want to lower my co-hosts here because it's getting the desktop. But yeah, so well, let's see if anyone else is gonna roll right in. Where did I put my cell phone? Because that's really how I read the chat. Because I am a streamer professional. I do all of this on a television with no real effort. It's definitely not the most stressful thing just doing this on one screen.
I have a second screen. I don't know about you.
I got my 2 screens. I got the iPad. I got the phone. I got the second phone. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Greg has 2 phones.
Yeah, I got 2
Yeah.
hands, 2 phones.
2 hands, 2 phones, and I got 2 fists. Alrighty, so now we are live and alive. I'm gonna, let the music die down. Thank you guys for showing up. We're gonna be switching scenes, and you're gonna see a little bit of a different change. So as you guys can see, I have the YouTube chat actually on the fucking screen. I know, that's crazy. It is insane. I've got the YouTube chat on the screen. My little PNG
Falgi.
actually moves.
Oh, there it goes. Look at that.
Falgi.
Yeah.
You are sharing with us the wrong screen.
Oh no, I know. I'm moving. I'm sharing the. I'm switching the Discord call now. I'm sharing OBS. OBS will stop being shared, and then I will now share you. Going live. There we
Look at
go.
that.
Yeah, I know.
Professionals.
I am super professional. I know. I had to. Thank you for reminding me that I had to switch screens. So yes. So I'm gonna pause this for a second. So we're gonna be going over some. We're gonna be going over allegations of grooming in revolving. I will pull up uh, the channel right now. The Dropouts Podcast. So ooh, podcast. So, I can't spell sometimes, and that's okay. Um,
You don't have to
nobody,
spell.
no
That's
one.
what Google's for.
I know. Google's a really cool fucking thing. So, Dropout Podcast is a podcast that's. So I listened to a couple of their episodes. These are the most like fucking normie people ever.
Yeah.
It's just like a normie podcast of people who are moderately connected to um
Other
individual.
YouTubers?
Yeah, so like these are
Okay.
like social media people from what I can
Uh-huh.
understand. This gentleman in question is Zach. I don't remember what his co-host name is. I don't fucking give a shit, to be honest, because they were
If you
not
click
the.
more, that might tell us some of the other
I
names.
don't know. Look,
Nope.
see,
Okay.
they don't got other names. Um, so currently they have 1.27 million subscribers. They got a bunch
That's
of
pretty good.
episodes.
That's really good.
Apparently, they've met Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Who hasn't?
President Obama.
I mean, that guy's everywhere.
They've had Tana Mojo on their stream.
That's a big get.
Yeah, it's a big get. So
That's bigger than Obama.
it's bigger than the big Obama, and it's been. That's funny. We'll talk about that later. So they've been a big thing on the platform for a little bit. Um, 1.27 is nothing to sneeze at. I wouldn't say they're mega famous, but they're famous enough to where they kind of have their own niche, their own pie in the sky, one might say. Their
I
own.
have not heard of them. Kat, you said you have not heard of them.
Never heard of them
Never
before.
not heard of them.
I came across them. I want to say a year or two ago, and I think what's very funny is one of the podcast episodes that's in the center of this controversy is the only podcast episode I ever listened of theirs. So for those just joining us, I want to thank
So
everybody.
the name of the co-host is Zach Justice,
hmm
Tara Yummy, and Jared Bailey.
So Jared is this guy. Terry
Okay.
Yummy. Now that's an interesting thing because she is another social media person who is a part of this uh,
Scandal.
scandal post hoc because she was not there for what happened. She for a while these two. So there was a co-host named Indiana. We'll kind of go over her in a little bit. She was one of the original co-hosts. I wonder if I can. I don't even know if I can. I should probably find her page. Um, if I Google it, right? Indiana Dropouts co-host. I don't know. I don't know what her name was. Her name was Indiana Massara. We'll just look up Indiana Massara. So Indiana Massara is an Australian singer and actress, and this will come kind of into play. So I just want to point out she's 21 years old. This will come into play. Well, we'll go to her Instagram real quick because her Instagram is actually very important to the story.
Born after 9/11.
Born after 9/11. You know who else was born after 9/11? Nobody on this podcast. We're all old fogies.
I don't know.
So
I wouldn't
barely.
call me old.
Barely.
barely.
I was still in my mom's arms when 9/11 happened.
Greg, where were we during 9/11, buddy?
I was in school. I was learning about 9/11.
I was learning about 9/11. I think 9/11, not to digress, but I think 9/11 was the first time I saw like CGI animation used for newscasts, which I don't know how that makes me feel now that I think about it. I should also.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I should also probably.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, so like during 9/11, it was a big thing. It was a
They had the
big-
recreation.
yeah,
They had
the
like 3D model
recreations,
recreations of the event to instead of just showing the same footage over and over.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to note, Zach Justice. So the gentleman at the center of our controversy here. I wonder how old he is. When was he's just looking at his age. Wow, I can't even. Wow, why is his age not
2000.
coming up? That's just
Right.
such a weird thing.
1995.
Yeah, that was IMDb on the right there. Yeah,
It's just on
It's
the right.
That's on
to
the
the
right.
right.
What do you
Yeah.
mean
Right-
on the
right
right?
there.
What? So he's born
Bo-
in 1995, September 4th. So what does
Mhm.
that make him? I'm really concerned. What do you guys think that makes him?
I can't do that math.
I can't
Don't
do
ask me
that.
to do math.
That makes him about 6 years older than Indiana.
Right, makes him 6 years older than Indiana.
Is it 29? Did I do that
He's
math
like
right?
28, 29. He would be 29 this year, right?
Yes,
So-
yes.
So, yeah, we can go to his IMDb page. There he is. I guess he was in some weird shit. Who cares? Oh, it's Matt Rife, everyone's favorite misogynist. Fucking, yeah, domestic violence is so funny. Fucking weirdo with a face. Rena's right. Rena, it would make him 29. So, Zach Justice here, our interesting person at the center of this was, is approximately 8 years Indiana senior. So here's an interesting question. How do you think they would have met? Chat, do you guys have any ideas how people would meet? How a 29-year-old would meet, let's just say, a 21-year-old, and how the hell they would have allegations of grooming?
I don't have an answer. I just assume that all Instagram influencers know each other by this point.
So it's interesting they do know each other. And
What is Discord before Discord?
what was Discord before Discord?
Skype, wasn't it?
No, LinkedIn.
They met through Skype.
Oh no. Well, technically, he met his mom first. He met her mom first through LinkedIn. So, I do want to thank first and foremost, YouTuber Jake Doolittle. He kind of turned me on to this because I got this video in my For You. But specifically, I do want to highlight this creator right here, TikTok creator Zena Wea. She was one of the first people to openly discuss. She's a very, I won't say very small, but she's a quite small TikTok channel. And Discord kittens and kick. Yeah, let's not say those. Let's not say Discord kittens. But Zena kind of looked at some of Zach Justice's history, and what's really interesting is that this is all stuff of word of mouth. And we'll come back to what grooming is. And I want you guys to think about an 8-year age gap. An 8-year age gap is not just, let's just say, 21 to 29, right? An 8-year age gap is 10 years old to 18, 11 to 19, 13 to 20. And in this instance,
That's 9 plus 10.
19, well, listen, 18,
21.
21. It's 21. No,
Good job.
in this instance, 14 to 20. And I'm going to make sure the sound is on because TikTok does that fun thing where it mutes everything. And let's look at Zena Wea's TikTok on Zach Justice. Part 1.
Okay, I'm making this video because I'm genuinely shocked about what I've learned about Zach Justice. Everything I've learned about this guy has been completely against my will until now. So a really sweet girl DM'd me and brought to light a lot of the things that this guy has done that people just don't know about. This guy is on some Drake level weird shit, I'm telling you. Okay, we're gonna start with this TikTok video. Here Zach is with his former girlfriend Indiana, who is, like this clip says, 17 in this video and he's 24. Okay.
Just want to point out for a second. Former girlfriend, he is 24, she is 17. Why do you know each other while she is underaged? Somebody please help me right now. What is this? I don't understand.
Literally just watch this clip.
So Indiana is currently mad at me for a really dumb reason. She won't answer any of my calls, any of my FaceTimes, so I'm gonna go kidnap her.
So this is less about the content of the video and more about the fact that she is 17 and he is 24 here and they have this type of relationship. Like, what type of 24-year-old is friends with a 17-year-old? I saw this one and I was like, okay, he's weird, but it gets 10 times worse. Because he's known this girl way longer than when she was just 17. So in this one, we just see a slideshow of the numerous times this guy has commented on a 15-year-old girl's post.
So, we will look at the contents of her social media posts later when she was a child. Because I have those up. But right now, it's something interesting to note that he's known her for a period of time, and we'll know why. But they are just weirdly making content together. And this does tie into their podcast and the creation of said podcast. I do want to make this very well known that it gets a little bit fucking skeevier after this. If you didn't feel uncomfortable now, you're gonna start feeling uncomfortable very fucking soon.
And can you guess how old he was? 22. It's obviously like banter, it's obviously flirty. This is just weird. Like, what business do you have as a 22-year-old on this 15-year-old girl's Instagram? Make that make sense. It literally just keeps going, so I'm gonna link it down below, but let's be real. So let's say y'all don't want to call this flirting, even though this is still proof that this guy knew Indiana when she was 15 and waited 3 years to date her. 3 years. There's literally too much to say about this guy, so I'm going to leave it here for this video. But this is also not the only girl he's shown weird behavior with. He's also done the same thing with Tara when she was underage. And by underage, I mean 14. So yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be crazy. Alright, I just saw Film Cooper's video about Zach Justice. All I have to say is thank you.
So we'll get back to this. So this is one of the first times that it's ever spoken about. One of the big things with this kind of drama, and we'll get past this one, was Zach has been working with Indiana in some capacity since she was 14. And Indiana confirms this, that they have known each other since she was 14. And how do I know that she confirmed this? Well, she says it out of her own mouth. So let's look at the podcast episode. Oh, I have so many things up at the same time, right? So this is a podcast episode, a chat with my ex-girlfriend. This is from about 4 months ago, so this is approximately March 19th. Specifically, obviously all podcasts, they film episodes in advance. So she was the original co-host of this podcast. You can see it in their older episodes themselves. But we're going to kind of go into the very interesting thing of what the hell is going on. Why are we doing this? Let's hear it from their own mouth how these two interesting lovebirds met. I'm going to put it at normal speed just for a fun fact.
Whatever's the easiest, and whoever wins that bracket also is going to get some cash, huh? And you guys have one more week to do the Dropouts clips, so essentially hashtag Dropouts challenge. The one with the most gets
a little bit.
Awkward talk. You've been good? What have you been up to?
What have you been up to?
Well, I want to start off this podcast by saying I am very proud of you.
Oh.
I think in this last year or two, however long it's been,
about a year and a half now. Hey, yeah.
Hey, you have, and I don't want this to come off as you were anything negative before. Deanna, over the last 2 years, beautiful.
Best podcast ever.
Best podcast we had like 30
ever.
seconds in it.
How beautiful.
Best podcast ever, guys.
Just kidding. That was so sweet. as of late, I've been a very
Menopause, right? You and Tyler.
I feel like the whole goal, a year and a half, turned me into a person
So
that
it is
I'm really
important to note that these two have remained friends over the time. These two don't know each other, and then obviously the guy in the corner, she doesn't really talk too much. These two, they dated, and now they don't really, stay together anymore.
Are
proud to
these?
be now. And
Go for it.
I was gonna say, are these two? So the girl on the left, this is one of the other co-hosts.
So the
Current?
girl on the left is the new-ish co-host.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I will put co-host in quotations because she has stepped away slightly from the program. Apparently, she is a social influencer in her own right and cannot have the obligations to do this podcast. So she actually stepped away in the midst of this controversy, or it coming
Separate
back
from
up.
these incidents,
And
or
it's separate from these incidents,
Okay.
apparently, because I do have
Okay.
a YouTube. I have a little thing where she does respond to the allegations and finding
it
them weird.
took a lot and a lot of hits for me to that I am now. And I worked at not doing this
Felt for the future.
being around was like when I felt like I
I don't want. I just think.
Where the hell do they start
Obviously,
talking
nothing
about?
wrong with you before, but now.
I think like we all had our problems before, and I'm not going to sit here and say
Where the
especially
hell
before
did they
time,
talk
and that's
about
obviously because
knowing
I
how
didn't
they
know how to
did?
deal with my own emotions, and it was just me to hit with. It's weird. I think like now old news like that. I don't know how to express that, but you know,
Even now, it's all a blur.
why are mixed reviews? Tara's awesome. I don't
Did
know
I
her,
miss?
but
Did
like so.
I miss?
No,
where
you-
they
no.
talked about
Otherwise,
this?
it was.
I do
I
apologize.
found out you were Persian, and you only we get the.
I put the
I also
timestamp
thought
in.
you were going,
I may have
oh, like
wrong.
what job are we getting done today?
Right?
And sometimes when I
Oh.
See, or do we move to this house? Oh, I have once at one time.
What episode was that? Is that still up?
Is that?
Oh no.
Oh, did
All
we
right.
delete? Oh, we deleted
So
that.
this is I will say this just to reiterate. So they broke up before
Yes.
going into this. These two broke up, and they filmed an episode about them breaking up
okay.
and about the how do I express this? They filmed themselves breaking up, and it's very emotional and all these things. It's like a very active conversation, but I can't find the video. It is hard to find, but I do remember because it's the only episode I watched, and it is framed very much of she was the abuser. She was emotionally manipulative. She was, she cheated. She was distant. So it was a very weird dynamic. That episode is now gone, and apparently it was gone before this specific episode came out. So I think there was either drama with it, or maybe it just wasn't well received and things like that. Because it is a very emotional thing, and I'm not going to discount her feelings because there are things that come out in that podcast that will be revealed. It gets revealed in this one a little bit, or revisited, excuse me. But it's interesting.
Because everybody took it the wrong way. It was supposed to be this open
See,
window.
I don't even know about any of this.
Okay, so we did a
You
podcast.
never watched that podcast?
No, I try not to like.
No,
It's
look
probably
at
for the
only
best.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
for the best.
Okay.
So we did a podcast kind of explaining the disbanding of kind of
Us.
our friendship, our relationship. And
You guys dated? Imagine. I just
People
didn't
actually
know.
didn't know officially that we dated until that podcast.
Oh, really?
No, we kept it like really under wraps because, and I'm going to bring this up right now. Zach and I met when I was 14 years old.
So to reiterate that, they met when she was 14. Now I need to ask a question to the both of you. If you met someone who was 14, would you ever just think of dating them when they got old enough?
No.
No, I don't think I'd meet a 14-year-old in any circumstance. I cannot conceivably think of a circumstance where I would be aligned with a 14-year-old. Let alone re-meeting
Weird
them
as shit.
years later.
And it's interesting you say that. Like, what would be? So you got to think about it for a second. What in this instance? I'll go into it, but I'm curious. What do you guys think? How do you think they met? How do you think they were doing things? What do you guys think? So she was a social media influencer potentially when she was a child. I know a little bit about it, but not too much. So how do you guys think they met? How do you guys think they were in contact when she was 14?
Through like big Instagram mutuals of mutuals, I'm assuming.
Okay, so Greg, you think Instagram mutuals of mutuals? That's a very good concept. I wonder, what do you think, Kat? How do you think they met?
I can't think of anything funny to say. My guess is that mom.
Yeah, you did mention moms. I'm assuming
I
mom and
did
LinkedIn
mention
is
mom.
related.
I wonder if the chat, you guys have any thoughts? If you have any thoughts while this is going on how they met, by all means plug them in because the truth may shock you.
If you say Chuck E. Cheese, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Oh, Chuck E. Cheese is interesting.
And that's going to get clipped.
That feels so weird.
He worked for, I guess, pretty much my mom at the time. He edited my YouTube videos and in exchange had a room in my apartment, in my mom's apartment. It was my mom's apartment.
So let's
Bro was a living editor.
reiterate that. He lived with them, or if I'm generous enough, lived in an apartment that her mom rented. I just want to point that out.
I'm a little baffled.
Yes, baffled is a statement I would use, right? Because if you think about this logistically for just 1 second, it's baffling to anybody why on God's green earth would you think the best idea is to have a live-in editor? What? How does this solve anything? What does this do? And you're also having an adult man around your child. I don't care how... Remember, he is 20. She is 14. Now, I understand that there may have been different things. I do not know where they live. She is Australian, so there is a potential that either they live in LA or they live in Australia. I don't have those details, but I need to ask the question. In what universe is it okay that you hire someone who is an adult male around your 14-year-old daughter and say, you can live with us, or you can live in this apartment that I rent?
And for an editing job, like they can do that anywhere. They don't have to be in your house to do that.
That's exactly correct. They can do that anywhere. I am baffled by this. I am baffled by the idea that someone would just allow a male in this industry around kids. Like, I get it. I don't know if he was very successful beforehand, or maybe he was, maybe he was kind of just like a regular dude, right? He found his in, right? Maybe he networked pretty well. But this is a 20-year-old in the space with children. I don't know, man. It's bonkers bizarre to me, and I don't know how any mother would allow that to happen. But it is not the kittens. Cloudy, yes. Mod Cloudy, it is the kittens. It is always the kittens.
Yeah, whose decision was, or like who brought it up first? Like, hey, you can come work for me and edit my daughter's videos and live in our apartment, or is he like, hey, I'll take a pay cut if I can live in your apartment?
So that is an interesting thing that I'm curious about. If it was like I am curious either or where that was, because something that's interesting is they don't really discuss when the business relationship ends. And then we'll go into it. Let's let them speak.
Literally, I can't even express to you how much nothing happened.
I sure hope not. You're 14 years old.
But I know, I'm trying to like...
Okay, I thought you were like backtracking. Like, I was just making sure.
No, because there have been so many things on comments, Reddits, like TikTok videos, everything, like saying that I'm this victim, saying that Zach groomed me, like all of these things. And I would like to set the fucking record straight. Number one, I am not a victim, and I'm staring down the barrel of the camera when I say this.
This one, stare down that one.
I am not a victim, and every time you guys are consistently drafting these narratives of this bullshit that happened when I was 14, you are constantly devaluing real victims. And
so I want to talk about that for a second. So she's saying that that people that are expressing concerns about this are devaluing victims. What are your thoughts on that?
I have not taken enough school to really give you a bright answer there. I mean, you could still be a victim and not realize that you're a victim at the same time. Like combative nature, which she's replying to these people is kind of alluding to that. But like it is odd and it is weird and it is a little creepy if you met somebody as an adult, if you met a teenager as an adult and then knew them for however many years and then at some, I mean, because there wasn't like a gap and then they met each other again. They were consistently knowing each other or were in the same Instagram circles and then they just ended up dating while she was
Well,
before.
their dating is very interesting, and it's in this podcast. I'm going to summarize it as well. So they will say, so I will give credence to some of their words. They do say that they, for a period of time, do not see each other, and then they reconnect when she is 17. I don't buy that personally, but I'm not going to that. Those are my conjectures and things like that because it seems like that's a business relationship you wanted to keep, especially if eventually you start a podcast with this person. And it's also important to note there are Instagram uh, uh, um, there are Instagram captions and comments that he continues to do past the time where they say they lost touch, right? And Greg, I'm glad you said that you don't have enough schooling because I actually did something for you. I pulled up what grooming is and the signs of grooming. And one of them are attempts by abusers to make their behavior seem natural. And it's a desensitization to touch. And what's really interesting is that, if we look at grooming as a whole, right? One of the signs, according to RAIN, which is RAIN is an organization for victims of sexual assault, domestic assault, and other things like that. In that instance, the attempt by abusers to make their behavior seem natural to avoid raising suspicions for teens who may be close in age to the abuser, it can be particularly hard to recognize these tactics of grooming, right? So when pushing boundaries, we're talking about how you are being desensitized to that and made to seem normal. So vice versa, a victim of said grooming is going to feel and going to defend their abuser because they're told that their relationship was normal. That just because they dated as an adult, everything is fine. Just because they knew them as a child doesn't mean that they were setting them up to be dated. Definitely not. Because isn't that what she's saying? I don't. People are reading too much into it. Yeah, they met when she was 14, but their relationship was never like that. She has disgusting stories of how they had this, brother-sister dynamic. And how that dynamic kind of evolved over time, right?
I would say near 100% of brother and sister relationships do not evolve into dating.
Well, it is interesting to note, and I want to say this. So, how do I say this? It is very weird to discuss how they started dating, right? Because the timeline gets a little iffy. So they'll talk about this a little bit. This is the most recent podcast that she was in. So the story goes that Indiana had a very abusive ex around age 17.
That's not Zach, or people
That's
are
not
thinking
Zach.
it's Zach.
It's before
Okay.
it's Zach, because we'll get there, right?
So she dated somebody. She dated people before Zach. Zach dated
Yes.
people
Yes,
after
dated
meeting her
adults, I
and
would like to hope
before.
so. Mhm.
Okay. I guess that kind of leans some credit in his defense for not dating anyone and then just dating her
Mhm.
out of the blue. But still.
Well, we'll get there because it's not out of the blue. So
Mm.
at age 17, they apparently reconnect, and they started, like Zena Wea showed, they started making content together where they're this brother-sister dynamic. It's a flirty brother-sister dynamic. It's the will they, won't they, which was part of their podcast. They even said it. They even said it that a part of their podcast was that people didn't know if they were dating, right? Now I don't. It's alleged, and I will say alleged. I'm not entirely sure. It is alleged that she started the podcast when she was also 17. It's alleged. I can't prove that. Obviously episodes are filmed out of order and out of time. It's very interesting. Victoria in the chat brings up something very interesting. Uh, well, when you're that young, it's the easiest way to get an in to that kind of abuse. We're like brother and sister, but obviously they aren't. And it's important to know that, right? So they had this content, and she was having this abusive ex. And not to demean her story, because her story is actually very powerful and it is very scary. She would, I believe it was in Las Vegas, but I can't remember entirely if I'm wrong. Or maybe it was LA. I may be getting some of the details fuzzy. But the ex kidnapped her and essentially held her hostage. And is very scary. And Zach and his co-host Jared go to the home and essentially break her out of the home and take her and bring her back to her mother or to wherever they were living at the time. And it's through that relationship, through that instance, that they begin to form a romantic bond. Now, what are your feelings on that?
I've never been in that situation, so I can't imagine. I can't imagine going from one kidnapped relationship into another relationship with somebody that much older than me, still being that young. That's such a wild moment, and like that's so weird. That's really weird. And also, if you help if you help save somebody from an instance like that, I don't think your next step is to ask them out on a date.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say, Kat?
The term flirty relationship should never be in the same sentence as brother sister.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? The Canadian Disney Channel thought that was a great idea, but it was just between stepbrother and stepsister, where they, heavily implied that the two were flirting all the time. On a Disney Channel show called My Life with Derek. You can look that up. There are weird compilations. I don't understand human beings. They were obsessed with this one season show.
All right, pull it up. I gotta know what you're talking about now.
Oh my god, you really
No, don't do that right now.
No,
Disney will strike you down. Disney will strike you down.
Disney will strike me down with all its passion and fury. Yeah, don't date undergirls. But Lemon, here's the thing. He waited until she was 18. It's okay. She wasn't underage. It's just an age gap. And we know that age gaps are problematic in their own rights. Am I right, guys? Age is just a number.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
You're the person you're dating is much younger than you, I believe. I'm making sure this is recorded.
The person I'm dating is not much younger than me. The person I'm dating is my exact age. Do not throw that at me.
Oh, you share a birthday. I see.
We do not share a birthday. Old Lefty does not share a birthday with me. No, it's not how that works. I can't believe you said that out loud. If you see someone Victoria's great. If you see someone has the word teen in their age, do not do it. That's exactly correct, right? It's just a very weird thing where the idea is I'm going to date this teenager. And I know at the time he's 24? Still a teenager. Your brain does not fully develop. Kat, when does your frontal lobe fully develop?
So the frontal lobe finishes developing at around 25.
Yes, it does. It finishes development at age 25. Both of these people are not even fully developed yet. And Lovely Lemon Ice is the correct. 911 is also a number, and it should have been fucking called in this instance. So, you now know all the setup. They were dating when she was around 18. He saved her from this kidnapping scenario, and I do, I want to reiterate that that's like actually commendable, to do that for anybody. Nobody should be in a situation of domestic violence of any kind, irregardless of this like abhorrent grooming. Nobody should be in fucking domestic violence. Like that's not okay. We're not saying he and his co-host should have never saved her, because that's kind of ridiculous. But when you look at this logistically speaking, you know, it's not uncommon for people to feel romantic feelings. There's a psychological thing for it. I can't remember what it's called. Greg, if you can look it up for me, that'd be a great thing.
Oh,
There's an effect where people like do fall in love with like their saviors. And it's such a weird and instant, like it's such a weird thing, because this is also somebody she is directly like in contact with from age 14, right? She is 14 years old when this starts. How did this ever happen? She might have felt like she owed him for saving her. Lemon, that's a really like interesting concept. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but that's actually like a curious thought that I've never thought of before, is like, if she didn't feel this way about him, would she feels like she owes him that? It's because you can also say that, she did feel that kind of reciprocal, almost transactional relationship to the fact that he was at one time an employee of hers by proxy of her mother, which is also a weird thing.
The thing I found is called transference, where one begins to attach romantic feelings to a person in a professional protector role, like a doctor, therapist, policeman.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the same thing, but it's kind of what you're talking about.
Kind of a little bit. Yeah, transference and countertransference do exist when we talk about therapy. Transference oftentimes comes in kind of different ways. If you hear somebody, or if you have a partner and you say, "Oh, you're starting to sound like your mother or my mother," for instance, that can be like a very similar kind of thing. But in this instance, yeah, she was transferring these like romantic feelings. Fernando, what's going on? Nice to see you in the chat. We're currently going over grooming allegations, the most light of topics in this current day and age of fucking YouTube landscape. Which is fucking insane to say out loud. We are not going over any of the Chris Ava or Cody Co stuff again. Cody Co did make a statement. We might go over that for a little bit. We might just kind of touch on it, since we've been kind of reviewing that and kind of keeping track of that over time. But yeah, so we're coming back to this story. Remember, a small TikTok creator broke the story. She had a conversation about it. She's bringing awareness to it. So this small TikTok creator doesn't get maybe over 1,000 views on an average TikTok. What if I told you that only one of those views actually mattered? And specifically,
yours.
No. Here's where we go. Oh, hold up. This is why I hate TikTok, but okay.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So I'm turning you into the villain by taking things that you...
Oh,
Hi,
what?
Zach. So happy you made it. Okay, so...
So Zach Justice...
Is that the official one?
That is his official account. Zach Justice somehow found this TikTok. So let's talk about this for a second. You are a major creator, and your response is to address allegations on this small creator's platform. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that this is just going to disappear? Do you think that this is just going to go away? What do you think is going to happen? So let's talk about this for a second. Let's see what Zach says. Zach says, actually, I would never, as I'm actually a respectable human being, twisting things to make someone a villain is a strange pastime. Hoping you can figure your life out, rooting for you.
Bro, I thought this was Instagram.
Bro, first off, this is TikTok, it ain't Instagram yet. We'll get to a funny Instagram post about this entire thing. But I want to point that out. This is a very common tactic you'll always see with abusers and manipulators and things like that who find that they have this weird moral superiority. It's the Theraspeak. Theraspeak is yes, that's right, snitching on yourself on TikTok. Theraspeak is one of the most strange events that has ever happened because typically when somebody speaks like this, we're talking about emotional intelligence. It's someone that's really trying to understand like what they're feeling, trying to explain themselves in an eloquent way. But in this instance, Theraspeak is used as an abuse tactic. And you'll hear this often with people in really dysfunctional relationships when they talk about boundaries, but the boundaries are actually rules for the other person to follow. Right? You have very famously a very famous example of weird ass boundaries that weren't boundaries, but the person wanted to use the term was Jonah Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Jonah Hill was dating a very famous surfer, and he would make comments about her like hanging out with other men in the surfing community, wearing skimpy outfits, all this shit, and he kept talking about how he felt like his boundaries were being violated because she chose to dress that way. Those are not boundaries. Those are rules of a relationship. Those are laws that you're creating on another person's livelihood. If you're policing how your partner dresses, how is that a boundary? I need someone to make sense to that for me. I'm too neurodivergent for that conversation then. Somebody make sense of that for me. I cannot understand.
I ain't got it. I ain't the one.
I ain't the one. You ain't the one, Greg. Greg, you're always the one. You're my number one. You need to know
Got
that.
it.
And then Kat is also my number one. It's why the polycule works to this day. Because there are no rules in our polycule. Yes, yes.
There should be a rule. If you're gonna have a polycule, you should have some
There
rules.
is no rules in this polycule. We all sleep in the same bed. It's very comfy. It's a California king. Isn't that? And then all of our respective pets have their own beds. Isn't that right, Kat?
Sure.
Listen, the yes-anding has to continue, folks. I'm gonna need you to yes-and. But yes, and this this creator, he reached out. Yes, Victoria. Yeah, Jonah Hill was a fucking crazy time. It was he fucking put it. She put him on blast, and he 100% deserved it. That was just abuse. Putting those kind of boundaries up, or excuse me, putting those kind of rules up is a form of abuse. And if you are in that kind of if anyone's in that kind of relationship, it's not cool. It's not okay. Don't be doing that kind of shit. And if you're the kind of person that's doing that and policing your partner to do this, that, or the third, reevaluate your relationship.
Get this straight. So I'm turning you into the villain by taking things that you've posted and said, and then
I
writing
wish
them
this
to life.
TikTok
No,
was
I
not
wanna
so
give you a fair
low.
chance,
Let
so
me see if
me
I can
lay
raise it a
everything
little
out.
bit.
You met Indiana when she was 14, 15, allegedly, and you live with her and her family, and you worked for her mom.
You gotta
Yeah, my
click the
last video
speaker
got a mix up
on
with
the
Tara and
bottom
Indiana.
right. Yeah.
It's all.
Oh, no, that's it.
That he lived with,
Yeah,
so
she talks very
makes
quietly.
It worse.
It's
It
okay.
makes it worse. So you knew this girl from being a minor to becoming 18 and dated
So again, this is just reiterating that they knew each other since she was a minor and all
her
those
after
things.
she became of age. So can we explain how this is okay? How does it make sense as someone in your 20s to know a girl for years until she becomes 18 and then date her? But you know what? That's not the premise of this video. Let's move on. So let's talk about how you constantly compare Taryami to a child, but then sexualize her at the same time.
You are a pedophile's dream. What?
I want to point out that he just called his co-host a pedophile's dream. I need to just react there for a second and sit there. Why would you say that to a human being? Why would you say that? Who says that to somebody? Who? How do you say this? Why do you say this to somebody?
But it wasn't Zach. It was the Grinch.
It was the Grinch. It was the Grinch. It was always the Grinch. It was never ever. It was never ever Zach. Zach would never
Zach
ever
didn't do
do this.
anything.
Zach would never do this. You're absolutely right. Zach would never do anything. It's always the Grinch. God damn it, Grinch, you pedophile.
Like you're like small and dainty, so it's like you're kind of like a kid. I'm just saying you could like help people. They should put you in prisons with like the pedophiles to like help them get past all that. I don't know. I'm just
Like, bro is just talking about himself. I'm sorry. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna end on this clip. Just watch.
here with
It's a
a
wild
13-year-old
thing to
girl,
say.
or as Jared calls it, a normal weekend. Oh, what?
absolutely not.
We're here with Haley LeBlanc. Haley, be honest with me. I love you too.
You are making a joke out of a real girl who was 13 at the time. Like,
I just want so yes, he told a 13-year-old that he loved the assets of her chest. But guys, it's comedy. I don't think like, guys, it's funny. It's tee funny, right? Like it's haha funny.
I don't think that was the Grinch.
You don't think that was the Grinch? Who do you think that was? You think that was Zach? You think Zach said some crazy ass shit?
What else has he said?
What else has he said? He says a whole lot. He says a whole lot. And there we go.
even besides all the stuff that you cover up, the things that you post are crazy. I really don't know what your obsession is with, like, pedophilia and those jokes, but, like, it's weird.
It is
Alright, I
very
just saw
weird.
the-
So this shit is super weird. But it continues and it gets worse because guess what, folks? There's a part fucking 3. Because if you guys don't see, he messaged her.
This is crazy.
He messaged her. I don't understand. Stop telling on yourself. Why did you message her? I'm not even helping you. This is not me optically helping you. I will sell my services to help you. Fucking whatever. But no, this shit's crazy because guess what? Streisand effect, 24.2k likes. Fucking 1700, almost 1800 fucking bookmarks, 982 comments. He Streisanded himself into the fucking sun. Why would you do this? This is insane. You also shouldn't be grooming minors. But, like, are you stupid? Are you stupid? Really? Like, Jesus Christ. I get angry. I know I shouldn't get angry. I'm sorry, chat. I really shouldn't do that.
It's that Italian heat.
It is the Italian heat. I am spicy. I'm caliente, which just means hot. But still,
I had no idea. I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't have guessed.
I wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't have known. Yeah, thanks, Greg. I love you. You're just keeping this alive, man. You're just keeping my heart pumping with the blood. I know.
I hope it's blood.
It is blood. It definitely is blood. There's other things that are heart pumps. Kat, what are the other things our heart pumps?
Oxygen.
So
Blood-enriched
oxygen is part of hemoglobin.
Yes, exactly right.
Most of your blood is basically just proteins and plasma.
Oxygen enriched blood.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you need the oxygen. Isn't that right, Boogie2988? Isn't that right?
He's not. I keep telling you, he does not know who you are.
I don't care.
Stop tweeting him.
I will tweet him until he likes me.
Look on the CPAP, me boy.
Click on the CPAP. My man, like if I hear, like I say this every time, if my man says polycythemia vera just one more time, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind because I cannot believe that he has chosen the beautiful idea of making sure that he just can't breathe. His red blood cell's just too big because my big man ain't breathing. My man Boogie needs some oxygen. Now, coming back to Zach. What were you gonna say?
I thought you were gonna do a segue into your sponsor, Oxygen.
Oxygen, yes, we are sponsored by Big O2. The big
Read that shit.
We gotta breathe that shit in. Listen, it takes really big lungs to take in all this oxygen, and I also want to thank our other sponsorship, the Child Slave Organ Exchange. It's so great. Thank you guys so much. You've been so kind. Oh God, that's gonna get clipped. That's gonna be fucking Roblox war crimes again.
Roblox work.
Yeah, it's a
Don't
last.
you hate it when your harvested organs are not kosher?
Right.
What if my organs are not grass-fed and corn finished?
Exactly, and that's what the free-range children organ harvesting is for. So every time you get a liver, that liver has been fed the greatest amount of grass, beef, and everything your heart can desire. And just remember, if you use a checkout code Sound of Freedom when you harvest your organs, again, that is Sound of Freedom, you will get 50% off any child organ harvesting. Again, Sound of Freedom. Thank you, Harvesting Market. Thank you so much for that sponsorship. And now we're going to go back to this video. Oh, God, it's so bad.
From Zach Justice. For context, these comments are about a video I made about his relationship with Indiana. Now I'm going to briefly recap what I said in those two videos. Again, allegedly, both Indiana and Zach were friends and knew each other while she was a minor, aka 14, 15, and he was around the age of 22. He worked for her mom, they knew each other, he would comment on her Instagram posts. Again, here are the posts I showed for context. This is all documented.
I will, okay, so if we're gonna, we'll pause this for a second before we go on, because it is really important to be like, oh, I wonder what these comments look like. So let's look at what some of these freaking comments were. Okay, how do I pull this up? So, you can see it on screen. I just want to, let's just point it out for a second. It's such a beautiful comment. This is in 2018, so she is 100% like 15, 16 at this point. Right? That's actually how old she would be. Would she be a little bit younger? I don't even know.
2002 to 2018 to 16.
Mm-hmm. So she'd be about 16. I am gonna just, I'm gonna raise the. Oh, I can't even. Can I not?
If you press F11 on your keyboard.
F11, is that what I'm supposed to do?
No, it just makes it a little bit bigger, yeah.
Oh, there we go. So she says, sweet as candy. Your head is blocking it, so it is what it is. So the caption says sweet as candy, and maybe I'll move you for a second. Hold up. I'm gonna move you for a second. Oh God, it's so big.
Everything's.
It's so big. Help me, Chief. F11, right?
You got it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna move you in the OBS for a second.
Yeah.
Because hey. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to Pack Watch. I'm gonna move you to the right-hand side. I'm gonna move you closer to me because you're beautiful. Transition. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna go back, and then we're just gonna, gonna make sure that the stream catches up. There we go. Perfect. So we're gonna click on this. We're gonna go F11. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger. Again, the caption: "Your sweetest candy." Want to point out that he liked this. This is the tweet. And his comment, thanks. I need to use sugar-based scrub to exfoliate. Okay. Innocuous comment. Not too terrible. Right? Definitely not bad.
A bit much.
A bit heavy-handed, but not too bad, right?
Weird if you didn't know the person. Maybe a little weirder if you do.
Yeah, right. Maybe a little weird. So let's look at the next one. This is her commenting on it, and she says, "You just need to use a little more." Now again, her comments also very weird. This is very clearly like some flirting comments. I am not abandoning Cat. Cat is not lonely. I will break. Don't say that I abandoned Cat. That's messed up. I would never abandon Cat. Kat, do I ever abandon you? Oh no.
What was that thing you said a little earlier today?
Thought I loved
It was
you.
it was two little silly words.
I love you.
Those are three
Yes,
words.
and
Yes, and you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! No, but yeah. Okay, so she comments on this, not too bad, right? Now let's look at this other one. Uh, this is 2017, so this is earlier than the post from before. Who are my hearts for? I wonder. Thinking face emoji. I wonder. Thinking face emoji. I swear. I don't understand human beings. I don't get this. What do you guys think he's thinking? Why would you put that?
Maybe I just don't know Instagram commenting culture, but I don't know. If I wouldn't see myself in a position to ever need to reply to any of these.
Right, like it's just a very bizarre thing to be replying to this in such a way, especially because if you think about it though, at the time, let's say 2017, he is a content manager for her potentially, right? You know.
Yeah, or had done so in the past.
Yeah, or had done so in the past. So it's
in the recent past, not even like yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, you're having a conversation with like. This is also an inappropriate conversation to have with your employer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is also like the weird part of this these grooming allegations as well. That again, not so weird in the realm of Hollywood, but like this is also your employer. It's your employer's child that you are directly working for.
Mm.
And your whole thing is flirting with her on her fucking Instagram captions. What are you doing here? Why is this a thing? Why are we doing this? I don't understand. This next one, it says caption for you with a rose, and Zach says, "I'm good," with a smiling face. Okay, that's more brother sister energy apparently, which is I find that very interesting, right? 2017, overt flirting, right? 2018, brother sister dynamic. Very, very curious. I did want to just point that out. And then on this comment, she says, "I wasn't offering you." And then they have this little playful banter back and forth. And again, it's just sibling. It's just a sibling relationship, right, guys? And again, another kind of sibling conversation. I write my love songs for you. Please don't. And then another kind of sibling, kind of this weird, like, flirty sibling conversation where she's happy that she has 600K followers, and he says, "Calm down, you're cool too." So there's this dynamic where, and this is something I find really interesting, is so far they are talking about how they lost touch, but yet they are, at least at this point, talking to one another in comments. Right? Like they say, and I would have to find that in the podcast. We could probably get to that point. They say that they lost touch around the time and didn't re-meet until she was 17, right? But yet there's clear evidence that you guys are at least talking in these Instagram posts. And I know that that's not much, but it also paints the picture that he is keeping tabs on you, which is fucking strange.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that is worth mentioning too. Because like, if he's an Instagram like influencer, he wouldn't just have her on it, on his friends list or whatever. There'd be a ton of other people there presumably. So these are the only ones that we see him. Or I guess these are the only ones worth mentioning because they're related to Indiana. But But I wonder if he's doing this with other people and whatever their ages are, or if these are the ones that stand out because she's the one in this, a part of this grooming allegations.
Well, I think I would have to look a little bit more, but from what I understand, it's kind of mainly her because of the fact that the grooming allegations are specifically surrounding her. Because from what I understand, this is specifically the only person, unless somebody else comes forward, she is the only one that he's dated in this kind of instance where it's the age bracket, it's all of this, which again shouldn't be happening. I want to make this very, very clear that if this is happening, I don't understand what the fuck you're doing. Like this is so, it's so abhorrently not just bizarre, but it's just actively disgusting. Victoria, you pointed, like, why is he that's the thing. Why is he commenting on so many posts? Like if you guys are not maintaining a relationship, the question is, why are you commenting on each other's posts? Now, and I will give him some level of leeway, right? Maybe because he's kind of an editor where he kind of does this weird behind the scenes on Instagram, he is trying to just keep up a friendly work relationship, right? You know, that makes sense. You want to keep up your work relationships, right? But then the question is, why aren't you, like, I don't know, messaging mom? Why are you messaging the child? Right? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And that's what frustrates me. There's no reason for this. Right? And here's another one. And this is, 2018. She is 16 at the time. Yes, I bowl like this. I don't believe you for a second. Again, it's this weird back and forth between, like, just the idea of being a minor, and then, having these playful comments with her, this brother and sister dynamic. But then you guys dated. Again, my heart's getting stolen in 2018. There's nothing we can do. We'll call the police. Jeez, like, this is another thing. Like, why are you, like? There is clear evidence that you are constantly, you cannot say that you two are not talking to each other. You guys are constantly having these back and forths. People know this. This is in the comments. I don't like this photo. We are going to skip this photo. But why is he liking this post? Why is he commenting on this post? Why is he liking this post? Why is you're in a bikini and you're underage? Like, this is the other thing. Why? Why are you... I say this every time. I first off don't think kids should be used in a sexual manner. Like, to me, this is crazy. And I really hate this. I don't like the idea of children being influencers. I've never liked that idea. It's just so bizarre. It's so, honestly speaking, it's disgusting. If I'm being completely genuine about it, it is just like one of the most disgusting things people can do is take advantage of children, especially for money. But it's just like this is just, it's so disingenuous. It's so just this, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that this is what people think is normal. That this should be the norm for a relationship. What do you guys think?
I've never been in a relationship that involved Instagram. I don't have the proper Instagram education to speak on it. But no, I think if he's still editing for her during this time, keeping a relationship on Instagram, sure, whatever. I think the context of the comments is a bit much. I don't think that's okay for like a professional standard, I guess. But yeah, and then if he's not working for her currently, if he is just kind of like lurking on her Instagram and she's responding to it, and he's still, I don't know, it's not a good look, and definitely not, and also him commenting back on that TikToker, also not a good look. I think he's just having these moments of just commenting on everything. Maybe that's just his thing. Maybe he's a big commenter and he can't stop commenting. But you could see people on your feed and not comment. It's also okay to do that as well.
Right. Again, this is a child. And not only that, this is a child that you are familiar with being a child, right? Like,
and you work for them.
And you
technically
worked for them at one
their
time.
success is your success is related to their success at this point.
Right.
Or during your involvement with them as you work with them.
Right. And so one could make the conjecture, if one really wanted to, that, for instance, the reason that he is commenting on this, and I'm sure, and I'm surprised that they never said this, right? Because this is, you give him a small out that he does not use, because anytime he never said, oh, well, you guys don't understand, I'm commenting on her because I'm working for her, and I'm promoting this, right? That's never been mentioned. It's, you're discounting victims. You're, because literally, what's the first thing you could say if that was the case? Like, oh, the dating was all fake. The dating was fake specifically as a social experiment, right? Let's just make that argument, that excuse for a second, right? But that's not what they do. They constantly go back to it. They constantly say that they dated. And it's bizarre and weird. It's just so weird, man. And it only gets worse somehow.
Yeah, if you have the other thing too is if they themselves called it a brother-sister relationship, that doesn't turn off the second she becomes eligible to date, you should always retain that relationship instead of just like, oh, now I can date you, now it's okay. That's not people don't do that.
Yeah. It's this weird thing. I can only speak for myself, obviously, and it's like morally it's reprehensible, even though it's morally it's reprehensible if legally it's safe. Like for instance, I have in my family I have quote unquote cousins that are just my mother's friends' kids, right? And we all vary in age. At no time have I ever listen, they're older now, right? They're 25, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I never at any time did I ever think about that. Because if I'm saying that this person is family, if I'm setting up that relationship with a person, why am I doing that? Why am I setting myself up for that? Exactly.
That's not very Ohana of them.
It's not very Ohana. But it's like, I'm not kissing cousins, Victoria. That we do not we of the Opp Block do not condone kissing cousins. It's fucking weird. Please don't do that. Don't tell people you do that. Don't actually do that in real life. That is the strangest thing known to man. I swear if I ever hear one of my followers doing that, I will scream and shout and let it all out, because that is insane in the brain. Like, I don't understand how you think that is totally okay. Like, that is, oh. But yeah, this is just like, but Victoria also has a really good point where, like, if you genuinely thought of somebody as a sibling, right? If you genuinely saw them as somebody who you had this familial relationship with, the idea that you ever saw them as anything but is disgusting. It's reprehensible. It's amoral. It's just. It's, you wouldn't do that to family. Nobody does that to family. I mean, maybe they do it like in other places, but you don't do that to family. Don't do it! Don't you dare! And this all comes down to part 3.
What to say. Anyways, moving on, they dated after she turned 18. Again, all allegedly. Never did I convict anyone of anything, call anyone any certain name. Never did I use the word groomer. What I did do was I commented on how I thought this behavior was weird. Anyways, back on Insta, I proceeded to get a series of text messages about how
okay,
I was weird
just
for
want to point out.
Let's
go back for a second.
And also, I was weird for twisting the narrative and painting messages. Anyways, back on Insta.
He texted her. My brother in Christ, if you ain't guilty, why are you bothering this human being? Why are you bothering her to do this? Don't say the Italian heat. I just saw that tweet. I just saw that. Don't say Italian heat. That's not good. Don't be saying Italian heat. Don't do that to me. So, if you guys are a large content creator, and you see a smaller content creator is popping off and they say things on your name, do you message them? Do you think, you know what the move is? I'm going to tell them how incorrect they are, how this is so detrimental to everything I am as a person. Is that what you guys think is the best idea in this instance?
Is that why we're covering this? So on the off chance that he can respond to you?
No, he's not gonna respond to me. I fucking know. Are you fucking better than No, listen, if he responded to this video somehow, I would cry my eyes out. You want to know why I know he won't respond to this video? Do you know who also covered this? And I know, at this time, I know she hasn't gotten a response. Trisha Paytas has covered this.
Oh shit.
That's how you know he be fucked. Because Trisha covered this and was like, hey, this don't seem okay. What the fuck are you doing, man? And she covered this. She covered this young lady's whole Instagram. I'm sorry, TikTok story about how he essentially was like trying to strong arm her into letting go of the story. I want to point that out. Like, that is the narrative we find ourselves in. Is this idea that he's like, oh, I'm going to message this person, and they're going to understand everything and everywhere I'm coming from. Why would you do this? Why is this the idea? Somebody please explain this to me. For the chat at home, if you're wondering why the video is not moving, I'm actively making myself a grilled cheese sandwich. Now, here at the Opp Block, we do promote good eats, and I know that I probably should have ate something and made something beforehand, and you're absolutely correct. But I'm what you call not so bright. And so when you're not so bright, you sometimes don't make things immediately. And here's a question for my fellow Opp Block co-hosts. How do you guys make your grilled cheese? So I do two things very special with my grilled cheeses that I'm curious. So one of the things I do with my grilled cheeses is I like to make them by toasting the bread, toasting before I do it, because I do like a crunchy center. But also what I do is I grab some shredded cheese, and then I put shredded cheese on the grill or on my pan, and then I make sure both sides have a cheese crust on them. I don't know if that's something other people do.
It works.
A boy pre-toasts his bread.
I've had that before. I haven't made it at home like that, but I've had grilled cheeses like that at restaurants, but with like Texas toast size bread with it. The real trick is if you don't do that, which is valid. A lot of people use butter on the outside of the breads, but I use mayo on the outside, and that does really, really well.
A lot of people use mayo because of the oil.
Yes.
I do butter, bread, cheese, bread, butter.
Butter, bread, cheese, bread, butter. Very good.
That's the classic. That's the classic.
Classic. What I like about
just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. What I like about putting the cheese crust on the outside as well is that it makes it like almost taste like a Cheez-It, because your cheese bakes. Mm-hmm. So it gives a nice little cheese crust. But yes, I did make a grilled cheese sandwich. I used whatever cheese is in the fridge, sliced shredded block. Rena, that's real, man. I just have Kraft Singles in a tiny Ziploc bag because my mother thinks I don't eat, so she gave me not a whole thing of Kraft Singles, but half of hers. Don't ask.
I fucking adore government cheese.
Government cheese is great.
That is, that giant sketchy block of plastic is delicious.
Mm-hmm. Cheese is fine. There's nothing wrong with the government cheese.
I don't think it's even considered cheese by that point, but
it's a dairy,
it is wonderful.
It's a dairy product, but shush. All right, let's get back to this damn video.
I proceeded to get a series of text messages about how I was weird for twisting the narrative and painting him into a villain. And also I was told that
Do you
I was
guys think Zach
undermining
Justice
real
had
victims.
lotion?
Is Justice his last name? Like his real last
I
name?
don't know.
Apparently, yes.
That's crazy.
Just remember that.
Bro's named after a tarot card.
It don't burn like butter does. Yeah, but that's if you... So here's the thing with grilled cheese. People are in a rush. Never rush your grilled cheese, folks. This is a thing that Papa Falgi is going to tell you right now. Don't rush your grilled cheese. If you're making a grilled cheese, make sure you take time. You put it on medium, low to medium, and you got to make sure that when you do it, it's nice, it's very good, and you take time to brown that butter. And once you brown that butter and you've toasted both sides of the toast, whatever kind of bread that you're using, you make sure that cheese is ooey gooey in the center. And if you do it like me and you put a little cheese crust, you make a little mound of cheese with the pre-shredded stuff. I like using the pre-shredded sometimes because it is convenient. And then you just make something that just tastes so much better. And
Yeah, the thing is, grilled cheese is not something I'll go out of my way to make. Grilled cheese is one of my, oh damn, I am bed rotting, I need to eat something kind of meal.
That's true.
I haven't eaten all day, so this is my meal for now, and then I will make myself chicken with rice later after the stream. But more importantly, grilled cheese is very good right now. Now back to the video.
I asked multiple times how I was twisting a real villain.
So
how
let's
I was
look
back on
at
Insta,
some of the things he said. So he said, "Hey, call me on this. I'm at a hair appointment. Yes. Do we have to call? Yes, this is very serious. I mean, I can call you this evening. This is a very serious situation. Replying too clearly. Call me this evening," he says. "If I'm on a flight and can't answer, we could try tomorrow." The behind the scenes, let me see, can I slow the video down? Is that something you're able to do on TikTok? Are you able to slow videos?
I know you can speed up. I don't know if you can slow down.
View video details? Nope,
I'm really hoping this
that's
is the
not,
last time I
that's,
have
well, I fucked that up.
I'm really
Oh, wait,
hoping
no,
this is
go back.
last time I
The
have
speed
to
right
watch
next
this,
to
but the thing about me
audio.
and her,
Yeah.
while she was a minor. Again,
I'm blind
they
as a
knew
bat.
each other, he would
But
comment
to the
on her
right there,
Instagram
yeah.
posts. Again,
Oh, yeah,
here are the posts
0.75.
I
There you
show.
go.
For context, this is all documented. Again, this is all
Okay, so we're going to try to find where the messages are.
anything. Call.
Let's see if I can find where the messages are. No. Messages. So we come to some of the messages.
And also, I was told that I.
So, you painted this wrong. He says, like I was lurking with 18. You do not see how you're leading people to believe this. It's gross. Are you completely undermining real victims? So, we kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but one of the things is that he is asking her to call him. Here's an interesting thing. He lives in California, right? Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in California?
A lot of things.
A lot of things, but you know what you can't do in California? You can't record phone calls.
Yeah.
You can't do a one-way recording. So he is asking her to. So I believe he's either in Vegas or he's in California. And so when asking someone to, do that, he is essentially trying to trap her into going with the narrative that he says. And if he says anything wrong, well, it's not in writing. And we'll go on. Let's see what else. She says, sorry, my dog is licking everything and thus absorbing all of the cheese as well as my mouse. So, yes, call me this evening. You take my dark jokes totally fine. This was trying to me to be edgy, but you're insinuating that I would have done anything so vile is damaging to real victims. Inianda will also talk to you as well if you'd like, but yes, needs to be a call. Now I want to point this out, right? she is a small TikToker again. It should be reiterated. He found her. He found the fucking video, and now he is private messaging her. This video did not pop off in the way that he thinks it did until he brought it to everybody's attention. Bro just telling on himself. Oh my god. TikTok is not being my friend right now. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I will just click stop. I will click stop, and the thing does not stop. Let's see. So she says to him, are you saying you don't know her at 14 or 15 and 16? Because that's my point. That in and of itself is the issue. The fact is that you stated that you dated a girl you knew as a child while you were an adult. Like, this is all public information. Something that they shared on their podcast, that he knew her since she was a child. Okay. This hates me again, but it's okay because there's a long text that's actually kind of important. Let me see if I can grab it. So, all public information. He says, those are all things I'm more than happy to talk about. Nothing even close to being strange or weird ever happened between us. I worked for her mom briefly, and then didn't see her again until 2019. Hey, Zach. Weird thing when you say you didn't see her until she was 2019. You were messaging her all the time between that time that you're saying that you did not see her. And not only that, remember, she has, and he's going to say this, she had a boyfriend, and the rest that can be said, it was very dark and darker than you think. And then Indiana is happy to tell him, remember, the boyfriend kidnapped her, right? He was abusive, and they rescued her from an abusive situation. If I worked for you briefly, and I lost touch with you until 2019, where did you get the gumption, the resolve, and Justice is not only your last name, it is your fucking person, because you rescued a girl that you apparently barely know and only worked for from a kidnapping. Make that make sense to me, please. I'm not even being mean at this point. Make that make sense. You rescued someone you barely know from a kidnapping scenario? Are your parents like Superman and Wonder Woman?
Yeah, if he met her, so he knew her in 2015. He worked for her for a small amount. Worked for her and her mom for a small amount of time. Says he never contacted her until 2019, or didn't see her again until 2019. But the whole time was commenting, at least on Instagram. Met her in 2019 when she already had a boyfriend. Sometime in that amount of time, was able to befriend her enough to get the information about her and her boyfriend's abuse or kidnapping, saves her from that relationship, and then dates her immediately after.
Yes.
That timeline's so funky. Like, there's so much not here that we're missing, that he's not expressing to Zena Wea.
Yeah. Kat, you were going to say something?
I was not.
Oh, damn!
I think that might have been my mic. I think I moved my mic arm.
Oh, okay. I heard breathing, and I was like, what is happening? No, but Greg, you're absolutely correct. Like, there's so much not being said that doesn't make any sense. Because, like, what are we talking about? What are we getting into at this point? Because we're essentially saying that it is okay to leave out all the fuzzy details because, guys, he did a right thing. And Zena Wea, all she's doing is being dismissive of victims, right? And he would never manipulate a soul. But evidently, he can send these text messages that just seem very manipulative. Okay, so we missed a text message just like talking about like how it's crazy that you guys are messaging me. Indiana doesn't want what happened to her on text or for people to see. I want to point out she says that, right? I skipped 3 seconds, right? It is what it is. We'll just kind of go. This is why I dislike TikTok. It's kind of shitty for this reason. So he said, and I quote, that you know, he says that she wanted views, and even though he's happy to talk about the situation, he doesn't want to now unless it's over phone call and not recorded. And I want to point out something real quick. Indiana does not want what happened to her on text or for people to see. Really strange how you've made 2 podcasts about that. One that's a now deleted podcast, and then most recently a podcast at least. So these are released in June, right? So approximately 3 months prior, she was okay talking about her ex who, kidnapped her and assaulted her. That's fine if it's on your platform. It's not fine if it's on someone else's platform. How does that make sense? What are you talking about? We'll continue. We'll give Zach. His last name is Justice. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He is shining justice.
He shouldn't be trying to convince one person. That's not like gonna do anything. If he convinces Zena Wea like, hey, nothing, what you're thinking is not actually, and she's like, oh, okay, it's not gonna convince all the other people that are looking at this too. Like it's a weird move to single her out.
Right, but because I think what he wanted to say was, I need you to retract your statements. Can you please make a video that retracts everything that you're saying? Because the idea is
That's wild.
If she retracts what she's saying, then none of it is true. Because that's the only power play you get out of this. There's nothing else you get out of this. You don't win. Like, there's no winning from this. Like, it's the most bizarre thing I have ever. It's so confusing. I don't know what he expects. I really don't. So, she says, obviously, all this stuff, Indiana doesn't want this on text. The crazy part is that he's highlighting the fact that her video that did not pop off until he started doing things pops off.
And how did he find it? He would have to have tracked that down because there's no way that's popping up on his FYP. Like,
isn't that so? He either is tracking shit with his name
or
on it,
Googling himself, or somebody sent it to him.
or somebody sent it to him, or he has a team. Because again, there's an interesting thing where they took away that episode 141. That's the episode that is missing. And they kind of explain it in the podcast clip that we saw, but there's not really a lot of explanation as to why that specific episode just up and disappeared. There's nothing that says that. So unless there's context that they have not explained, and then I'm very curious as to why they have not explained it, it is what it is. And so when, in reference to him saying that Indiana does not want what happened to her to be on text or people to see, she says, what happened to her? Are you talking about yourself? I'm talking about the public info that you have that you stated that you didn't find weird. No, not myself, he says. What is wrong with you? Of course not. And she says, well, then it's nothing to do with me. All I've been about is your reel that you find okay. Not true. You framed. Oh, I can't read that. Let's see if I can read it. You framed me to be a pedophile. You framed to be a pedophile. That's the grossest thing anyone can do. This is the relationship that you had that was an issue. She says that she never used the words pedophile. That's what he lined up. You just don't like the way it sounds. Blah 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 blah. He says that she thrives on bringing other people down. Why not ever reach out to Indiana? In reference to that, he's not addressing anything. I
found the audio version of 141. It's still up on Boomplay.
See, that is
they took it down on. I'm sending it to you right now. Hold on.
I needed that because I had been looking for that for a long time.
They mentioned. I saw a Reddit post that's saying that it was deleted on YouTube, but it was still on. it was on Spotify, and then they took it off of Spotify.
Yes, and they recently, and it's interesting to note that they deleted it off Spotify
Yeah.
around this time when these allegations were coming out, which is why everyone was like very confused. For instance.
But yeah, this is 141.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get all to that. But again, so Zena Wea, let me see if she comments anything more on this. But again, he is messaging her constantly, trying to clear his name, saying that what she went through is not to be public information. However, it is public information. It's been public information. So it's just very concerning as to why she keeps saying that it shouldn't be.
And also, I was told that I was undermining real victims.
Yes, and undermining real
I asked
victims.
multiple times how I was twisting the narrative, how I was painting him into the villain when I really just recited, again, public information. And I never did get clarity on that. I was just told that I was skewing the narrative over and over again. It was the same paragraph basically over and over. So he ends up blocking me, and I'm like, okay, cool, what a weird day. And hours later, I'm getting the same comments, the same narrative from Indiana this time. If you go back and read Zach and Indiana's messages, you'll notice that it's all the same thing. It is generally the same repeated paragraphs that don't apply to anything that I have said. So let's really break it down. I'm being told that I don't know the whole situation, and I'm making the situation look like something it's not. I genuinely feel like a broken record here, but again, all that I have stated has been public information that has been posted by both of them. I was also told that I'm presupposing that Zach did something to her when she was younger. Again, that was never the claim. Nobody knows that. My only argument ever was and ever will be that if you know someone when they're a minor, and I'm talking, again, 14, 15, you know them until they're an adult, and you go out to date them,
Exactly.
That is weird. Never did I ever put a label on Zach.
I think that's and Zena Wea, like, I think puts it very well. She never called him a pedophile. It's just what do you think your actions are, and why do you need to justify? If you need to justify the actions taken, then the onus is on you. It's not on anybody else. It doesn't make any sense that you are doing that. It's such a weird. I don't understand what he thought this was. Was this like a weird flex? Did he think that this was going to be the gotcha moment? Because it's not. And having Indiana also comment about the post as well, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really support anything. That's what's so confusing to me.
Yeah, maybe he just thought if he reached out in an official capacity on like Instagram and TikTok or whatever, maybe she would just do it because he's a bigger influencer. I don't know. I don't know. Weird play.
It's a weird play, and it's also like a crazy thing because we currently are in an age where we have allegations of grooming and sexual assault and things like that, be it Cody Ko with allegedly sleeping with Tana Mojo when she was 17, and apparently it may have happened multiple times, or very, very recently with the Ava Chris allegations in regards to what's kind of going on with that, in regards to just all of those messages. Adults cosplay, like role-playing as minors in a Discord. Minors being able to see pornographic and not safe for work materials because adults are not taking responsibility because they're acting as children because they're getting their rocks off to this. It's so disingenuous, and for him to be like, you don't believe victims, you're making this harder for victims, when all she's doing is pointing out what the hell is going on.
With public information that they have said.
Mm-hmm. The podcast implicates you. Don't make the podcast if you don't want to implicate yourself. I don't know how hard that is.
That's why we're making this podcast, so I don't get implicated.
Yes, you don't get implicated. Greg, you'll only be implicated in my heart. You know that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'll groom you later.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Oh, I'll see you in the NSFW Discord.
You'll see me in the NSFW Discord. Well, listen. No. It's that's not how you do it. Apparently, the way to do it is that you have a goon session in a public Discord, and you just place yourself on mute.
Right.
Yeah, that's how you do it, and then when that person tells you that, you just encourage them to do it more, even though it's fucking bizarre.
Right.
And then you blame them that you never encouraged them, and then all the transcripts come out, and then you run away like a little bitch because you are a little bitch.
Hypothetically, theoretically, in Minecraft and Roblox.
Hypothetically, theoretically, in Minecraft, once a little bitch, always a little bitch. But yeah, hypothetically, theoretically, in Minecraft, it's so bizarre. But yeah, so these allegations alone would be weird, right? But I want to go to a funny little Instagram that I found. We'll go into the proof of allegations later, right? But I want to let me see if I'm going to reload this page because I found this Instagram reel to be very funny.
So happy to have you here at the alleged rumor paradise. As you all know, it's been a great month of recruitment for us, and I want you to meet our new member, Zach Justice.
Hey, now I may have groomed Shinji, but I waited until he was of legal age in Japan.
I hate this. God damn it,
That's
Ava.
crazy.
It's Ava.
I was not ready
always
for that.
fucking Ava.
I
can't.
get flashbanged by Evangelion.
Flashbang by Evangelion. No.
America 1995.
Nice
Get
one.
in the robot,
What about
Shinji.
you?
Get in the robot. Oh boy. Oh hey, a scumbag dad. I don't know who this person is, but this is one of the funniest things that this is one of the funnier skits that I've seen in a while.
Zach.
What's up, guys? So, allegedly, there was this 14-year-old's mother who hired me to edit her videos. I was about 21 at the time, but I got to stay there at the house for free. The 14-year-old was like a sister to me. It was completely platonic and totally above board. But once she turned 18, I had realized that she had become a full-fledged woman overnight. We started dating, but didn't work out.
Why not?
Well, like I said on the podcast, and I quote myself, these are literally my actual words. It didn't feel like I was dating her. It felt like I was raising her.
Let's find that podcast. Let's listen to that podcast.
I'm pretty sure it's this one. I think it's in this one. I would have to double check it. I want to point out that what he said was, I didn't feel like I was dating her. I was raising her. In what universe? In what respect would you ever say those words? Why would you say those words?
It's such a weird thing to say because usually when you say things like that, or not for me particularly, but when people are dating people who are younger than them, the thing is like they're immature or they need to grow more, or just those instances of just somebody doesn't have the experiences or the world experiences of being an adult or knowing the struggles of having to make rent and shit like that. You don't phrase it like I'm raising this.
But you know what?
You don't phrase it like that. What a weird thing to.
What do you mean you don't raise it like you're raising them? No, but I think it's interesting, and I have heard people say that before. Not in my circles, but to female friends of mine. Oh, you're just not mature enough, things like that. And I always sit there and say, but then why aren't they dating someone at that maturity level? If you are claiming that someone is not mature enough to date you, why can't you get anybody who's that mature?
Yeah. Especially if the work that you're in and like the circles that you're in are fucking Instagram people, like you don't have to settle for the youngest, the freshly adult people who don't know better or anything. You can date people that have world experiences and experiences similar to yours and viewpoints of yours that have developed these things instead of, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I'll get it. If I get into it, I'm gonna get spicy Italian meatball.
Get spicy Italian meatball. Go for it. This podcast is supposed to be spicy Italian meatball.
No, it's just because he was how old when they dated? When she was 18, he was
24. Is when
24. Well, I mean, he's 24. When you're 24, you're still an idiot. But like, you should have the wherewithal to not date people who have just turned 18, who have just turned, and also not. It's also the kid thing, obviously, like that he knew her when she was younger and or worked for her and her mother, whatever. It's just like to put yourself in that situation and not see this being the pipeline of events happening, and then to to go after a singular individual TikToker about it, like who's just pointing out the obvious that you yourself have pointed out on your own podcast. This is so weird. This is the weirdest pipeline of scumbag behavior.
Isn't this the weirdest like scumbag drama ever? Because at this point nothing has happened. She's confirming that she's saying that she was fine with it, that the relationship was completely consensual, which I'm not going to sit here and the reason I found this drama to be very interesting is that it really touches on both aspects of the drama pool, specifically when it comes to Lemon, you're actually correct. Young people are vulnerable, hence easy to get. That's exactly correct. But I think this drama touches upon what is currently the two bigger dramas in the space. Obviously, again, Cody Ko and Chris Ava and stuff like that, where it's like, you know better. And if you are supposed to be the adult and you're the one that's supposed to know better, how are you doing this? And you pointed out something very interesting, Greg, when we were talking about like, people are finding this, how did he find this smaller creator? You were already ready to run optics for this, which leads me to believe something happened with this 141 podcast that he saw coming. That he knew that this was going to be brought up again. And if this was going to be brought up again, that this was going to be a problem. Because it is a problem. You don't treat minors like this. You never treat a minor like this.
So he met her when she was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for her mother. Basically saw her grow up.
So it's interesting.
And then at like age 25 started dating her at 18.
So
I'm 25. I have nothing in common with someone like that age.
Yeah.
That's just weird as shit.
But here's what's interesting to note. He didn't technically work for her mother. He technically worked as a contractor for her. Mom just hired him. He was editing and directing, apparently, her content. Because she was a 14-year-old model. So that's even the work. That's essentially, Mom was acting as a manager and hired a live-in editor.
Which, like, I can't imagine how good the mom was doing that they thought, or how good the Instagram money was coming through that they could afford A, an editor, B, a live-in editor.
Well, listen, it's...
He said it was for a short time. We don't know how long that is. If it's a month, that's still, rent on a room a month in LA, presumably. That's like, I can't imagine. I don't know.
Well, I think something interesting too. Yeah, we don't know how long he was living with her or in this apartment that her mother owns. And I think that there's maybe that was the transactional agreement where mom maybe like a realtor and daughter wanted to get her Instagram following up. So he assisted that way. Let's say that that's the instance, right? You're still an employee and an authority figure, and you're helping create somebody's whole persona. It's funny when we discussed her kidnapping and how I believe it was Lemon that pointed out that she may have felt some kind of that she owed him. At this point, she may potentially owe him for her success. I'm not saying that, like, listen, she's, as a model, I guess that's a great thing. Again, I don't like child models. I think it's really weird. I've always thought it was really weird. I mean, she's conventionally attractive, and she was conventionally attractive back then, but she's still fucking 14, 15. What do you think is, like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing that you should be doing with a person this age. And then you reconvene. Let's just say that they didn't know each other for a period of time. But as Kat pointed out, he's seeing her grow up, but just through Instagram. But then they reconvene. What are you doing? I think there's more to this thing.
I can relate to that. Do you want to go get drinks with Drake? You're bunking with him in cell block 1.
Oh boy.
God.
The old Drake mention. So that is like something that like really like kind of like goes crazy is, and this is just kind of like confirming that they 100% dated. I like how this subreddit is called fucking LA influencer snark.
That's good.
It's they have been on this, uh, and it's insane. So apparently, uh, this is of when she was 18 when they got together, but they don't. But again, because she, that's the other thing too. This is where the timeline gets a little weird. Because apparently then they also say that they dated when she was 20, but that's not like they keep obfuscating part of the timeline.
That might be either. So they dated when she was 18. He might have said that potentially 18, right after he rescues her from the ex kidnapping, whatever. They could just be saying 20 just so that it doesn't sound as bad as it is, because this is where we are now.
Yeah.
And that's why the numbers and the time is a little off. But unless they dated in when she was 18, dated when she was 19, dated when she was 20, like just different intervals of dating. But I don't know.
That's something I thought about too. Is maybe there was different intervals of dating, because like this TikTok was when she was 19 apparently, and we'll listen to it with full sound. Oh, whoop! I don't know why we're doing that. Come on.
Smack my ass like a drum.
Oh, I didn't mean to hit a girl.
Remember, guys, brother and sister. These two.
Zach, get off of me!
These two.
Confirmation that it was Zach. Confirmation that it was Zach.
Confirmation. Mr. President, we got him. Mr. President. But again, 100% not dating. They are brother and sister. Because you would let your former content manager, now friend, smack your ass for content. I just want to point that out. Former content manager and friend now smacks your ass because, oh, hey, look, it's a TikTok. There is no fucking way. There is no way that this happened. Listen, smells like shit, looks like shit, seems like it's a piece of shit. Jesus Lord. And there's more little information here and there. There is stuff a little bit more in this podcast. And apparently, this content creator actually, she was formerly on the podcast.
That's her.
Back. This is her. Apparently, potentially her and Zach may also date at one time. I'm not looking that into it. Yeah, it's like, Lemon, you put out a really good point. Like, being her brand manager at one time, or even an editor, puts the power dynamic, which, fun fact, is another warning sign of grooming, because they're in a place that they can isolate their victim, and they select them because of their perceived vulnerability and desensitization to sexual topics. You want to know why? Because she's fucking modeling. She has to do these sexy poses as a fucking 16-year-old, 17-year-old. So you're constantly in that, oh, you gotta make risque content. Don't you want to be like Miley? At a certain point, you're gonna have to break that childhood boundary. Because look, there are posts where she's 16 that are already not even appropriate for her age. She is a child. She is 15, 16, making inappropriate posts for someone her age. I'm not a prude by any means. I'm a very sex positive individual. I like sex work is real work. That needs to be said. But she's a child. There is such a gross there's such gross negligence by parents, by everybody, because she's just a vehicle to make money. Very famously, there is a documentary on Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields is an actress.
Oh, yeah.
And she talks about how disorienting, desensitizing, and dehumanizing it was to be featured as a Playboy bunny at like 15. She was this household sex symbol as a child, as a minor, and it messed her up. Like, and we constantly do this in the current age of social media. We are constantly doing this to kids, and it's just so insane. And now it's faceless, I mean, it's been faceless chat rooms, but now it's just faceless discords and posting fucking Shadman art. Because I guess that's the thing we fucking do now. Fucking ruin it for, like, fucking just...
Oh, yeah, I got you a commission. I'll send it to you later.
You motherfucker, I will come to your home. I know where you live.
You do know where I live.
I know where you live.
You have my address. You sent me the collars.
I did. I sent you all the collars. All right, so let's see what Tara has to say about this whole thing.
Welcome to our channel. Today's video, we will be exposing the developing story about
This is AI. This is AI.
AI, no!
And hopefully from this point on, your choices you make in life will be a little smarter.
About who I hang out with? I'm picking up what you're putting down. I should distance myself from...
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe not. You can interpret it however. Right now, you turned 18 recently, right?
Yeah, recently, last August.
And how old are you now?
Just turned 25.
Just turned 25.
Mid-life crisis.
Mid-life crisis, yeah.
She just turned 18. This is like around the podcast of the formation of the podcast at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're alleging is that they dated in the middle of the podcast and not in the beginning, but they would always portray it as were they dating or weren't they dating. So
that was the shtick.
And that was the shtick. So even if that's to be believed, and she did have this abusive ex and all this stuff happened, which I do believe. Like, obviously, why would I ever not believe somebody who says that, right? This is insane. Somebody told you how uncomfortable that was. I don't know who this man is, but you can kind of see, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Did you know your brain is now almost fully developed?
Listen,
That's really unfortunate.
I'm being dead serious.
My frontal lobe.
Exactly.
That's unfortunate.
Well, it's actually fortunate, and hopefully from this point on, your choices you make in life will be a little smarter.
Yeah, we wish.
About who I hang out with? I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I should distance myself from...
They are not listening to him.
not.
They are
No,
not
they're
listening
not.
to him at all.
They're not.
Zachary, there was no wink.
Back in June,
Yeah,
a
why would they?
TikToker
Why would
named
they do
Zena
that? Why would they
Wea
listen
made
to
a
him?
three-part series
okay.
called
We're just gonna
Zach
find the channel
Justice,
stuff.
You're Straight,
that's
Dating Her.
Hey, we're here with a 13-year-old girl, or as Jared calls it, a normal weekend. Oh, what?
Absolutely not.
Love your If we had an HR department,
Again, said that to a 13-year-old.
that would be harassment. Hey, buddy. Hey, guys.
I'm turning him in for harassment.
She's turning me in for harassment.
He said he loved my face.
Objection. Objection.
Hearsay, Your Honor.
What's it? So hear me out. You
So
can't say that.
you can't say that these two are not dating by this point.
After their breakup, several people made remarks about their age
This
gap,
is
and
insane.
Zach was getting called out for allegedly grooming Indiana. This eventually made Indiana come forward and try to clear out the allegations.
God, I hate the AI
but
so
people
much.
disregard
I hate
her
how this
statement
video
as
is
she
actually a good,
undoubtedly
like,
a
thing,
victim
but it's
who is
AI.
unable to realize
Fucking
that
Sunny
she
V.
was groomed.
Okay. Let's see. She said, what I was trying to tell you privately was my side. So this is probably what she said to her. Zach and I met when I was 15. You said 14. And he worked for my mom for a few months, and we almost had zero contact for 3 years. Almost zero. Almost zero. But he's constantly in your fucking Instagram feed. People are showing that he's in your Instagram feed. I don't think you understand. He was keeping tabs on you.
You know what else too? I mean, this is neither here nor there. But when you're younger, the length of time 3 years is much longer than the length of time 3 years is to a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so it might seem like it was 3 years might have seemed like so long for you because it was, but for a guy older than you to wait 3 years, it's not all that long to wait for them to try to date you after the fact.
You know what, Lemon? I really do hope that she sings a different song.
Yeah,
this is
agree.
insane. This is really sad.
It's definitely. So at the beginning of this, I was just like, I don't know, maybe these are all coincidences. As time's gone on, as all of this is coming out, and the messages to TikToker Zena Wea, I believe it was, it just feels like they're just saying what they can so that it just looks not as bad after the fact, because clearly Zach knows how sketchy it looks. whether he's trying to be right about it or not, or whether it was just a accidental fling that they had. It doesn't look that way at all, and through all the instances that they put out on social media and in their podcast and everything else. So maybe he's just trying to play cleanup after the fact, so that the rest of his career isn't mired by this event. But it looks real bad.
It looks real bad. And so these allegations came out in June. He's still been on podcasts during that time. His podcast
one other
has
thing,
come back. Like that's the
his saving grace is Indiana not connecting this. Like if she was, this would be completely like blown up in his face and over. So that's pretty much it. He's incredibly lucky that Indiana has not. I don't want to say figured it out, pieced it together, whatever. You know what I mean?
Folded, I think would be the term.
Yeah, sure.
It's and it's not me being rude, and I do want to express this that victims going through their own process and discounting any kind of victim, really, she is allowed that grace, because everybody's allowed that grace. Even Tana Mojo has come out about her own Cody Cove allegations, and I
also years after the fact.
Years after the fact, and it's also how she's processed it. She's explained that the reason that she didn't really bring it up past the one time that she did, and then the following and then this most recent time, is because there was this pervasive feeling of so much other bad shit has happened in my life that this is this is a blip on my radar, because other people have used me for my body, my name, and my image while I was a child, well into my adulthood. Again, I've talked about this in the past, but like there was a very interesting there's this interesting thing where like TanaCon for instance, she had a manager.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was her manager in that? He never ran fucking protection. He just hit her? Didn't tell her not to do this thing? Because guess what? She didn't show up. She was never going to show up. And she's been the ire of the internet ever really since.
Yeah.
Again, and irregardless, because, there are some reports that, yes, Gabby Hanna did confirm it, and Gabby Hanna spoke to Cody Ko, and potentially that upset Tana in some way, shape, and form, that people were telling her real age to male creators, right? That's still not okay on male creators who are having any form of intimate relationship with her when she is 17. You are warned. She can be 17 and lie. Because guess what? She's a child. She's going to make a mistake. You are an adult in that scenario. Grow the fuck up. Don't fucking play I'm sorry at your set in fucking Vegas or by the beach and think everyone's going to know what it means. Looking at you, Cody Ko.
Is her real name Indiana Jones?
I have no idea. I don't...
Because there's a... Okay, I'm so sorry. There's a porn parody of Indiana Jones called Indiana Jones.
No! Greg!
I just needed you.
Greg,
I'm reading it right now.
Greg, sometimes the neurodivergency needs to stay hidden.
I needed
you are so real for that.
I needed you to know that this was me figuring. I'm looking at the name. I'm like, why does this sound familiar? I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
No, Lord have mercy. What do you mean?
We're not monetized. It's fine.
We're not. But listen, the people in here, if you like the video, if you like everything, Ko-Fi is in the link. Please throw some money at us. The Ko-Fi is in the link. I need
we split it 3 ways.
That's adorable.
Weird.
That's an adorable lie you'll tell yourself. Because listen, I need better things to keep this stream set up. I would split it 3 ways if we all lived together. It'd be different. I fucking do this on a television. I don't got a fucking monitor. Listen, I put 2 games on this fucking computer, and it says that I have 37 gigabytes of memory left.
Gigabytes of memory?
I really need to like fucking fix this. I got a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's probably not enough anymore.
No, if you're recording this, no.
Well, I mean, it's this is just on YouTube. I edited it on YouTube, but that's not the point.
All right.
The point
let's get back to it.
The point of it is this.
Before we do get back into it,
Yes.
while we do have a lull, it is pretty late for me, and I do have things to do.
Oh, Cat.
So I'm gonna have to run out, guys.
It's okay, Cat. I love
It's
you.
okay, Cat.
You're my favorite.
We'll talk soon.
Talk
Okay.
very soon, Cat.
Good night, y'all. Have a good stream.
Night. Good night.
Have a good night, Cat. I miss you. I miss him.
Bye.
I miss him already. I miss him already. Lemon says that you would know that, Greg. How does that make you
I know.
feel that you know things?
It's very like me to know things.
It is very like you to know things. It is kind of funny that you do know them. I will say that is hey there, I moved you over. Hey, look at that. I made it work. I listen, guys. I am
We did it, Reddit.
learning. I'm learning things like live. I just realized that you can just kind of hide elements, and so I don't need to delete the element. I can just hide it.
You can also this is neither here nor there. You can also preset whatever channels are for whatever they're called, so that you can just like swap between them, type of thing.
Oh yeah,
But,
I know.
that's also
I do have
golden.
things actually. I do have scenes for each thing. Yeah.
Yeah, scenes. That's the word. Okay.
But
No more segues.
No more segues. So yes. So she is saying, obviously, they haven't seen each other for 3 years.
Trisha Paytas saying I'm a victim is the craziest thing ever. The fact that that woman has a leg to stand on is insane. She has no idea
No.
who I am. She has no
Not the
idea what my
not the
situation
fidget
or how I
toy.
feel about any situation. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
It's not just that. Why are you throwing Trisha under the bus? She's just analyzing the situation. And what do you mean she don't have a leg to stand on? Like, listen, Trisha has gained a lot of the internet's goodwill back.
It's kind of crazy.
She really she put in the effort to rehabilitate. Hey, listen, having a kid was the best thing for her, which is like the craziest thing to say. But like having a kid really, I think, in my
What was the
opinion,
joke? Welcome back, Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, welcome back, Queen Elizabeth. No, but in all seriousness, like having a child really I don't think rehabilitated her image. I don't want to say that, but I would like to think that having a child, for some people, not all people, really put life into perspective. And I don't want to I really don't want to assume and put conjecture for somebody I don't know. But I really just the way she speaks about her trauma and her experiences. She's gone through sexual assault in the past at the hands of a family member and things like that. And she. What's crazy is that Zach says, I can't believe you are, to Zena Wea, I can't believe you are devaluing real victims. And here's a real victim of grooming and sexual assault saying, hey girl, I'm pretty sure you got groomed and you're being taken advantage of. That's fucking insane to say. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Trisha would know more than anyone. That's exactly, Lemon, that's exactly right. Believe all victims unless their name is Trisha Paytas, apparently, according to Indiana.
Damn.
Like, what do you mean? That's so rude. Listen, I don't adore Trisha as a creator. I don't really like her stuff, and yeah, she's a little fucking weird. But
But she's been around for what, 15 years now? More?
Yeah.
She's changed alongside YouTube for better or worse, whatever your perspective is on it. She's I think Kat said it too in one of the Discords. She's actually famous outside of YouTube as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So
she did the thing. She transitioned her media fame into an empire.
Mm-hmm.
How long-lived it'll be is
it's up to her.
Up to her.
Really.
It's up to her, and honestly speaking, how long she's alive. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying that the internet has a fun thing where if you kind of just stop engaging with it, for own personal reasons or God forbid something happens, the people can't really pick up the slack because they're not you. It's seen time and time again with any time a YouTuber hands off their channel to somebody else. That channel suffers immensely.
I'm looking at you, Fred.
Fred, Drama Alert did it for a time.
Ray William Johnson.
Ray
with
William
his
Johnson did it with equals
what were
equals
his
3.
equals 3? Was it just called equals 3?
It was equals 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently he's taken it back, and it's like a TikTok show, as
All
well
right.
as Your Favorite Martian. His
I did hear about their comeback.
It's not a comeback. They've just still existed.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I looked it up one day. They've been posting since like that thing started. Like they've had multiple animation changes.
All right.
Yeah, maybe after the stream I'll show you it because that's wild. But yeah, it is insano in the braino to think that I don't know. It's just super wild. And I can't believe that she would say that. I don't know. It's just so disingenuous to me.
Zach has since made numerous inappropriate, racist, and misogynistic jokes.
Oh boy, what'd he say? Okay. You love another thing that rhymes with rock. Okay, cool.
Jokes under the cover
great.
of satire,
Good job.
including some disgusting comments about co-host Tara Yummy.
Kyle's dream.
What?
Because like you're like small and dainty, so it's like you're kind of like a kid. I'm
No,
just saying you should,
no,
you
why?
could,
I still hate this.
they should put you in
Why would you
prison
say this?
to like help them get past all that? I don't know. I'm just trying to help the community.
Why would you
I think.
ever say this? Why would you ever fucking say this?
Cool. Great.
What a weird thing to say.
We're
Yeah.
This is the curse of Instagram celebrities, where you can just say the things that come to your mind and not have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have any repercussions for saying stupid shit
Fellow
sometimes.
YouTubers showed their concerns about the allegations
Yeah,
claimed
a lot
against
of
Zach and
people have
expressed their
come
disappointment
out
and
with this.
disgust towards his behavior, with Trisha being the first YouTuber to openly discuss the matter on her podcast.
Yeah.
Just
Also, I just want to point out
this
that
stuff to
this
me,
is a
like-
4th of July episode. Fucking Trisha is killing it. Fucking amazing. But I also want to point out her 4th of July episode is about fucking grooming allegations. Not some like crazy shit about the nation divided or anything. She legitimately went and fucking swung for the fences on that and like stuck to her own guns. I give her a lot of credit for that. Like a lot of fucking credit.
The comments he made before she turned 18 were obviously very flirty on her Instagram. There was like so many things that they clearly had a friendship. And he said it himself. He was like on her. She was about to have an 18th birthday. They were going to celebrate it with her. So you're clearly friends with this person
Yeah,
before they're 18.
you were there.
But he acted like with her like they weren't. And I think for me, which we always talk about, is like being friends with people that are underage when you're of
Don't need
age.
to
Like
do it. You don't need to do it.
there's like no excuse for that. There's like no reason to be friends with this
Exactly.
girl
There's
that's
no
like
reason to
underage,
do
you
it.
know
It's
what I
what we
mean?
keep
Like
saying.
it's like
If you're
in this abusive relationship, which they said she was. It's like, you know,
What are you gonna say?
No, if you worked for her and her mom, whatever, for a small period of time, you lived with her, whatever, it's in no longer having that work relationship. You can move on and not talk on Instagram and not respond to everything. If we're being polite and he just wants to be in her good graces for
Work
like
purposes.
Instagram work purposes, work relationships, sure, but he's either downplaying his involvement in that to that extent, or is just lying about the time frame or like the ages too, because like to make himself look good, and or telling Indiana like the dates and times just so that he could still look good and continue his career.
Right.
But here we are, and nothing's adding up. That's why we're asking questions. That's why it still looks sketchy as hell.
Yeah, people are asking questions not to demonize you, but for like real explanations. I still don't love 18 to 24. It can be ethically wrong, but it's legal. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be a dickhead. Age gap. The age gap debate is always a weird thing to me. Not so because I don't believe that the debate isn't valid, because it is. There are many of those instances where it's valid. In this instance, it's very valid. But sometimes people bring it up to like, oh, she's 25 or he's 25 and their partner's like 30 for instance or higher, and it's like they are adults at this point. They are both consenting adults. Do not infantilize two consenting adults. But in this instance, you have a child. You have someone who's, and I'm not saying she's a child in the literal sense. You've known her since she was a child. It's not a thing you do. It's just not a thing you do. It's just insano in the braino.
you contact, her mother, her parents, someone to do something about it. It's like you as the boy
YouTuber Film Cooper also took advantage of his platform and voiced his
Took
opinion on the
advantage of his
sensitive
platform.
subject,
I like
calling
that.
Zach out for displaying all 5
Oh
warning
God, AI,
signs.
please
Weird,
stop.
weird choice of words, AI.
Best case scenario, Zach Justice is a total creep, and that's as far as I'm willing to say. I'm not going to say the other things because I don't know you, but I do know what you've posted, and what you have posted makes you a creep. Nobody is insinuating anything other than the evidence that you publicly posted being a fully pieced together 5 warning signs.
We don't have anything else than what he shared.
A perfect picture of what a groomer looks like. I just want to say, maybe you're not a certified but what you are is somebody who fully displayed the 5 warning signs of groom. And then when that girl was legal, you started dating her. And for me, that's enough to never want to support you or watch anything you ever do again. And to click not interested whenever you pop up on my FYP with some slow burn romance with Tariani. By the way, pretty sure that's dead. And I feel like your career is too. Like, honestly, with this stuff coming to light, there's no way that people are just gonna like look past this. It's so dramatically disgusting.
Another YouTuber that used his voice against Zach's unsettling behavior was Louis McClung, who pointed out Zach's weird obsession with kids.
Whether the allegations are real or not, Zach Justice is a creep, okay? I don't care how much dark humor you spout out of your glorious little mouth there, but it's not gonna take away from the fact that you're a weirdo, a creep, a loser. But I'm a creep.
Oh no. Copyright no, copyright no, copyright
We
no.
don't have the rights. We don't have the rights.
We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights.
18-year-old that I had to wait for them to become the age of consent so that I could get their consent because I was just waiting for it. I don't think Zach is making jokes, okay? I think he's actually a bad person, and I actually think that as more evidence comes forward, we're gonna learn more and more bad things about Zach Justice and what he likes to get up to in his free time.
But here's the
This
thing.
recent turn.
This is July 28th. Sure.
It's 2 days ago. It was yesterday.
It's yesterday, right?
Oh my God.
He's back. So let's actually, you know what? This would be interesting. Let's look at the most recent podcast. And I also want to look up the 5 warning signs of. That's not what I want to do. I do want to look up the 5 warning signs of groomer because we looked it up here. I just want to like a really good list.
What is the percent chance
shut
that
up.
alien?
Shut up. Here's the.
Even?
Let's see let's see if there are any. It's at Terra left, Alyssa. So why do I have a feeling? Let's see. Why do I have this like sneaking? They keep mentioning negative comments too, or about Alyssa. I have this like an interesting feeling that either their audience doesn't know, or, and this is my sneaking suspicion, and maybe I'll look back. It might be that they're curating their comments because there's no way.
Yeah, of course.
Because especially right now, because this is all coming back to a head, I wouldn't doubt that they're curating their comments.
What is the percent
Stop
chance?
talking, Zach, you piece of shit. Because like for instance, like there are multiple episodes. I'm curious, like let's just say like this episode for instance. Let's see, clickbait. I don't give a shit about clickbait. I want to sort by newest first. Let's sort by newest. Gonna be real. Okay, Terra. Okay, boys are back. Blah 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 blah. Again, see, I have this sneaking suspicion that they're curating their comments because there's no way people don't know. Oh, see, anyone see the allegations of Zach? See, okay. Oh, well, no, that was no. Don't dislike. You know, people saying anyone see the allegations about Zach? So you know, these are younger comments, things like that. Okay, I'm not watching this whole fucking thing, but I wonder if the grooming allegations are getting to him, things like that. And I'm curious that on their last podcast, then no, shut up. Let's just see if any new comments came up about it. Todd podcast apparently pure autism. I feel like Zach is because apparently I guess they talk about their fucking Zach is not here apparently. Or maybe he is here, but they're also talking about like how the podcast is slowly like dying down. I don't care about Baby Gronk. I guess so. Maybe they're curating their comments because if I can look 3 days ago, yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's. It's curious to me. I would have to I don't know, part of me would love to leave a comment and see if they say anything. And if my comment gets deleted, that would be hilarious, but I don't want to test that right now. Listen, Zach, if you're watching, maybe just address the allegations and not just message a random fucking TikToker, because that is the most wild thing ever. Like 5 steps to grooming. Understanding. Okay. Let me see if I can find the 5 steps. Let me see if I can find it, because I know Rain. The thing I have is no, that's disgusting. So these are just the that's just the here's like okay. So again, you know what, we're just gonna go back to this. I thought there'd be a better way to present it. So again, so victim selection. So abusers often observe their victims and select them based on ease of access to them. Obviously, he had ease of access to them. The fact that he is there and doing these things, he's living in their home, ease of access. Gaining access and isolating the victim. You're working with them one-on-one, curating their content. We see multiple times where you two are alone together, close enough to 18 and 17 where it's happening. Trust development and keeping secrets. Definitely trust was being developed. You trust them creatively. They clearly maintained a playful relationship because they're commenting back and forth on Instagram posts and things like that, even when she's a minor. Desensitization to touch and discussion of sexual topics. Obviously, we've seen him hit her. There's instances where I think they like. I know there's other TikToks that of them like talking about like sexual topics as that brother and sister dynamic kind of thing. Obviously, they touched each other. Like every stage, every fucking stage of grooming, they have hit, and it is wild to think that at this point we do not. I don't know, man. Like it's insane. Now This episode is probably long.
It's pretty long. I think you can skip around. If you close that privacy policy, it has the little bar underneath it. Yeah, it has the play bar on it there. But there are clips on TikTok still. I don't know if the clips are on YouTube as well, but you can find some of the clips if you want to look at visual as well.
If you have specific clips that you want to send me,
let me see what I can find. Because I was just looking at it a second ago.
What's up, guys?
Okay, because this is like, I wish, my dream, the dream and honesty would be like, hey, can like something exist where somebody like has timestamps? Because I remember this podcast. Yes, Lemon, he legitimately smacked her butt. Like it's, and this was around 18. You don't just have that level of touch with somebody you barely know. That's a long-term commitment to somebody. Like that is actions of somebody who you feel comfortable with, that you know enough that you can do this with. And I think that's what always caught my eye about this controversy, these allegations, is it was the ease of access that he had to her. And it always like kind of just shocked me. We don't have to go over this whole podcast. I remember there was a clip on YouTube. There was like a YouTube short. I don't feel like looking it up because I don't really think that it's necessary. Because at this point, I think there's enough evidence that, yeah, they deleted this podcast, but this podcast is just discussing them breaking up, and it is framed that she was the reason they broke up. I do want to point that out, that like it is very much framed that like he was just like kind of trying to grin and bear it and tried to make it work, and she ultimately was like the reason they broke up. And it's crazy. It is insane to see. It's again, unless you can find the clip where he says I felt like I was raising you, because that would be insane. If you found that clip, Greg, I will actually just drive to your home and hug you. Wait, you found that?
I didn't watch the full thing. I sent you something, but I don't know if that's the full.
Let's find out.
The full Monty. Yeah.
Is this the full Monty? We'll find out. Let's find out what this TikTok has to say. Well, okay, TikTok, make my day. TikTok, it'd be cool if you loaded the clip. Is it not? Why is the clip not loading? Interesting. Did they delete the clip,
No, not since I just saw it and sent it to you.
Then I don't know why I'm not being able to load it.
Weird.
Right? Cause I wonder. Hold up. TikTok. Are you being a little shithead right now? Page is not available. Oh no. Oh no. TikTok is suffering. I think TikTok's. Wait. Is There's no way. Also, Ray William Johnson popping up on the For You is creepy. You did see that, right? I'm not crazy.
I did see it.
Fucking Ray William jumps there. Is TikTok down? Let's see down detector. Is there an outage of TikTok? We can see it like for real right now. Where TikTok keeps freezing. Down detector is usually good for this, in my opinion. And I don't see, is TikTok down right now? Down for everyone or just me? I love that. Any current outages? Reported that TikTok is slow, inaccessible today, literally like a couple minutes ago. Inaccessible. So TikTok may be having struggles. Let's see if I can.
Okay, I do have. Hold on. So on this
Went to
one,
get something from my car and this happens.
Wait. Hold up. Oh wait, that's Zena Wea's. I wonder if what the heck is happening?
weird.
Yeah, that's really really bizarre. Really just.
There's also this audio version of the 141.
I mean,
this one has timestamps. Oh, this one has a transcript. If you look at it.
Oh, interesting. Let's look.
Yeah.
If you could somehow download that video and send it to me, I can maybe open it in a different page.
Sure. Let me try that.
Okay, where's the transcript? Hey, you guys, blah 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 blah.
Oh, you have to log in to see the
fuck off. Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Oh wait, I can download the transcript though, if I log in, right?
You motherfuckers.
I mean, to be fair, this is like a great resource for
Get your bag, but
fuck off. See if I can do this again. Let's see. Wait. Oh my gosh. Because I don't want to log in and like see if. Oh, you know what?
Okay,
I might try something. I'm gonna do it on.
Too. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try getting it on my phone and just seeing if it's anything worth it.
Yeah, here. I've downloaded it and sent it to you there.
If you download it and send it to me, that might work.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form.
The question is, I wonder if I can open this in like a browser. Can I open this in the browser?
In no way, shape, or form has Jared or Zach ever told me that I couldn't come up.
Okay. Yeah, this doesn't help me. I don't really want to like show my display first. You know what? I might just fine. I'll just. I don't want a full display capture, but I may have to just to get this to work because apparently God doesn't like me sometimes. Cause like I guess I could download the video, but the thing is I'm trying to like I can't open it in like another.
I gotcha.
Tab. Did you get me? Am I just bad at this? I'm bad, guys. You have to understand that I know it's episode 153, but I am the boomer of this group of cohorts. Like it is bad. Let's see if TikTok. I guess. Oh God, it's loud. Why is TikTok so loud? No, TikTok, no. It's disgusting, TikTok. I don't care. Stop being evil, TikTok. It is okay if it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, we can just fill the air for a second. This is, there's no excusing this. There really is no excusing any of this. There's nothing that makes this work. I don't know. I really don't have like. I'm not gonna say I don't have much to say on the topic. I definitely have stuff to say on the topic. But at the end of the day, it's. This is what it is. This is the truth of the matter. It's not going away. It's only kind of getting worse at this point. Zach is, I mean, he's getting away with it, but it's also just not, I think, what he thought it would be. if his podcast is potentially suffering, or kind of like the Cody Co stuff, if more people continue to pick up this story, if more people continue to discuss this story, that it's going to gain legs again, which I do hope it does. I really do hope that this story gains the legs it deserves, because this is like extremely abhorrent. It's not okay. No one should ever be subject to this. I don't understand how this could be a thing. I mean, I do understand it, but that's pretty much it. I mean,
Has Jared or Zach berating me, telling me how shitty of a person I am when I fucking know. I'm trying to navigate it. No idea how to.
The thing.
It's just, you know. So I'm trying to click on the video, seeing if it's like worth even watching right now.
It's just that trust that's broken. It's really tough to get back. I guess to end it, these humans still got some work to do. Just try not to cast any judgment. They broke up the big incident about.
Yeah, again, this is kind of like.
I'll just try to navigate a situation through it more than I think. Blaming people. Like
again,
them.
from what I can see, just kind of listening to the video, I know I can't pull it up on stream. I do apologize for that. I do kind of want to highlight that it is pervasive that she admits ownness of their breakup, because it appears that she had cheated at some time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, it's not right to do. Cheating is not right in any relationship. But at the end of the day, she was a child when they met. And she was a child at the end of this all. And I don't... If you have... Greg, I don't know if you have anything more to add to the situation. If you have any, like, kind of final thoughts on this as I start to... not necessarily wrap up. As I start to, you know, have my closing ideas.
No, I think we covered everything just from the information that we have currently. Like, it's hard to see it any other way than, I guess, what we've been talking about as of now. I don't think anything he says is going to necessarily get him out of. Zach will get himself out of this predicament currently. I guess it's just wait and see what happens from now until the end here, because or from week to week, if he's just going to ignore it, if he's still going to go after TikTok creators who are talking about it, if any more information comes out, if you know, but this might be the end of it for now, unless something else crops up. But no, I think it's enough here to really finalize an opinion on it, unless he says anything to the contrary, and anything he's said so far has not seemed to be working in his favor like he's hoping.
Right. I think this specifically is kind of a crazy instance. It's I don't know. These stories are kind of sad because the reality is that there is a high potential that he's just going to get away with it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're arbiters of justice. No, the reality is that he's probably going to get away with it. And in a weird way, what can we do? Nothing. All we can really do is continue the narrative, continue the story, continue to follow up on things like this. Be aware when things like this happen. Don't hide this. Again, if you're a victim of any kind of abuse, there are hotlines for you. There are ways out of darkness. And it is okay to recognize these things in your own time. No one should force you to speak up about instances like this. And with that, I want to thank everybody again for joining us at episode 153 of the Opp Block. It's been a pleasure and an honor speaking for you guys. Hopefully, if there's updates to this story, we obviously are going to share them with you guys. And even if there aren't, we will definitely kind of, we're going to keep streaming. We're going to keep having fun. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. and thank you. Have a good night, everybody.